Welcome to the Greater Brockton Library Poetry Series. I'm Harry Williams, I'm the Library Director in Brockton, and it is my great pleasure to introduce our feature poet this month, Maxine Kumin. Maxine, welcome to Brockton.
Thank you. I've never been here before.
It's a wonderful city, and
Yes.
we have a wonderful poetry series, as you'll discover.
Yes, I have discovered.
And I don't take any of the credit for it. There are people in the background, they don't even get to be on camera, who make this happen every month. And you've met Philip Soares,
Yes.
Frank Miller, Arnold Danielson, and our cameraman back there. He
Yes.
makes a lot happen too. He's shy. So, welcome. And my first question is, what was your first experience that made you want to be a poet?
Boy, that's really searching, but I think I'd have to say it was Robert Louis Stevenson,
Really?
Child's Garden of Verses, many of which I have right now locked in my brain pan. I have a vast inner library.
That's wonderful.
It's him.
So you can take it with you.
Yeah.
It's
I
open
think it was
24/7.
the melody, really the melody of those poems, which first I think must have been read to me, and then perhaps when I became literate, I could read them to myself.
What kind of influences other than literature or poetry might have influenced your work?
Well, you know, we have a farm, and for many years we raised horses, and my life with horses has certainly informed my poetry. They're all over the place, whether it's cleaning pastures or riding or nursing a sick horse, or the best of all, I think, was awaiting the foals. We raised 10 foals. Now our first foal is 31 years old this year.
Wow.
She is a brave old lady.
Fantastic.
She's amazing.
Here's one from one of our high schoolers, and I think this is a fun question. Can you be in a sad mood and write a happy poem?
Probably not. No, I couldn't.
Probably not.
No, my poems are mood-driven to a certain extent, and then you try to bring your intelligence to bear on them, but I think I couldn't write a happy poem in a depressed mood. No way.
Okay. Now, if you couldn't write poetry at all, what other outlets do you think you would find to express yourself?
Well, I write in a lot of other genres, and I encourage poets to do that. I think it's very good for poets to write, let's say, creative nonfiction, and refine the simple declarative sense. Because poetry can be so elliptical, and listening to these poems today, I thought that a good grammar lesson would be a good idea.
Talk about lost art forms.
Yes, it is. There's a new book out, which I just ordered. I haven't seen it yet. But I love the title. It's called That, Which, and Why. The misuse of that and which is almost as common as, are you calling I mother? Maybe you're not old enough to remember that. That was an early radio play, Henry Aldrich. Because so often I hear between you and I, and people just go blithely on. They don't stop to think to themselves, what would I say between I? Certainly not.
And I know I risk feeling like some kind of a crusader in my talks with friends, but I keep reiterating that if we let our language deteriorate, our only tool for communicating is corrupted. It's sad. Now, that is a good segue to the final question, which is your opinion on the state of poetry in America today.
Oh, I'm very encouraged by what I see. I mean,
Great.
when I was first published, which was back in 1961, my first book came out from Holt Reinhardt and Winston. There were only maybe 6 or 7 first books of poetry published a year by the major houses. The university presses were not yet publishing poetry at all. I think it was something to do with not getting the nonprofit status at that time. In today's world, there are probably, I'm guessing conservatively, 100 first books published. And that's probably a very conservative estimate. given the small presses that erupt like mushrooms all over the place. Don Hall and I think, share this enthusiasm that the world, the state of poetry in America is very healthy. Now, it isn't all good poetry, certainly not. And a lot of bad poems get written, but I say hooray, because somewhere in the morass of bad poems are going to sift up to the surface those couple of good poems that will go down in history.
Excellent. And any last thoughts for would-be poets? Any advice for the person out there that might think they should try to be a poet?
Yes, I think they should go back and read a lot of poems, a lot of different poets, and not just contemporary ones, but go back and read George Herbert, John Donne, and Andrew Marvell, and prepare to be astonished by how contemporary those early poets are going to sound to you.
That's wonderful advice. Thank you so much for being with us and for sharing some thoughts. And I'm looking forward to hearing you feature for us this afternoon.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you for being with us.